We cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. Albert Einstein. Learn as if you will live forever, live like you will die tomorrow. Mahatma Gandhi. Stay away from those people who try to disparage your ambitions. Small minds will always do that. But great minds will give you a feeling that you can become great too. Mark Twain. When you give joy to other people, you get more joy in return. You should give a good thought to the happiness that you can give out. Eleanor Roosevelt. When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world. Norman Vincent Peale. It is only when we take chances that our lives improve. The initial and the most difficult risk we need to take is to become honest. Walter Anderson. Nature has given us all the pieces required to achieve exceptional wellness and health, but has left it to us to put these pieces together. Diane McLaren. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Herman Melville. The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. Colin R. Davis. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. Henry David Thoreau. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. Calvin Coolidge. There are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. Mr. Rogers. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. John Wooden. I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. Estee Lauder. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. W. P. Kinsella. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Winston Churchill. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Will Rogers. You learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. Unknown. If you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Steve Jobs. Experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first, the lesson afterward. Vernon Sanders Law. To know how much there is to know is the beginning of learning to live. Dorothy West. Goal setting is the secret to a compelling future. Tony Robbins. Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. Alexander Graham Bell. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Jim Rohn. I'm a great believer in luck. And I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. Thomas Jefferson. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Paulo Coelho. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Tony Robbins. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Steve Jobs. Women challenge the status quo because we are never it. Cindy Gallop. We don't just sit around and wait for other people. We just make, and we do. Arlen Hamilton. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. Oprah Winfrey. The strongest actions for a woman is to love herself. Be herself and shine amongst those who never believed she could. Unknown. Whenever you see a successful woman, look out for 3 men who are going out of their way to try to block her. Yulia Tymoshenko. Some women choose to follow men, and some choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. Lady Gaga. The thing women have yet to learn is nobody gives you power. You just take it. Roseanne Barr. No woman wants to be in submission to a man who isn't in submission to God. T.D. Jakes. A witty woman is a treasure. A witty beauty is a power. George Meredith. When a woman becomes her own best friend, life is easier. Diane von Furstenberg. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Margaret Thatcher. We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored. Sheryl Sandberg. It took me quite a long time to develop a voice, and now that I have it, I am not going to be silent. Madeleine Albright. Women must learn to play the game as men do. Eleanor Roosevelt. I swear, by my life and my love of it, that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine. Ayn Rand. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. Try not to become a man of success, but rather become a man of value. Albert Einstein. One man with courage makes a majority. Andrew Jackson. One secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. Benjamin Disraeli. A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. Confucius Kongzi. The successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. Dale Carnegie. A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. David Brinkley. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. You've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. George Lorimer. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Amelia Earhart. You'll find that education is just about the only thing lying around loose in this world. And it's about the only thing a fellow can have as much of as his willing to haul away. John Graham. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions. Never know too much to learn something new. Augustine Ogmandino. It is remarkable how much long-term advantage people like us have gotten by trying to be consistently not stupid, instead of trying to be very intelligent. Charlie Munger. You can't be that kid standing at the top of the water slide, overthinking it. You have to go down the chute. Tina Fey. When I believe in something, I'm like a dog with a bone. Melissa McCarthy. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Anais Nin. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. David Hurley. I've searched all the parks in all the cities and found no statues of committees. Gilbert K. Chesterton. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Winston Churchill. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Theodore Roosevelt. Do not stop thinking of life as an adventure. You have no security unless you can live bravely, excitingly, imaginatively. Unless you can choose a challenge instead of competence. Eleanor Roosevelt. Perfection is not attainable. But if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi. Get a good idea and stay with it. Dog it, and work at it until it's done right. Walt Disney. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Helen Keller. The elevator to success is out of order. You'll have to use the stairs, one step at a time. Joe Girard. Be a positive energy trampoline, absorb what you need and rebound more back. Dave Carolyn. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing, that's why we recommend it daily. Zig Ziglar. Work until your bank account looks like a phone number. Unknown. Friday sees more smiles than any other day of the work week. Kate Summers. Oh, it's Friday again. Share the love that was missing during the week. In a worthy moment of peace and bliss. S.O. Sade. Every Friday, I like to high-five myself for getting through another week. On little more than caffeine, willpower, and inappropriate humor. Nania Hoffman. Make a Friday a day to celebrate work well done that you can be proud of, knowing that you just didn't put in time to the next paycheck. Byron Pulsifer. When you leave work on Friday, leave work. Don't let technology follow you throughout your weekend. Answering text messages and emails. Take a break. You will be more refreshed to begin the work week if you have had a break. Catherine Pulsifer. You can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Zig Ziglar. Inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Pablo Picasso. Don't settle for average. Bring your best to the moment. Then, whether it fails or succeeds, at least you know you gave all you had. Angela Bassett. Show up, show up, show up, and after a while the muse shows up, too. Isabel Allende. Don't bunt. Aim out of the ballpark. Aim for the company of immortals. David Ogilvy. I have stood on a mountain of no's for 1 yes. Barbara Elaine Smith. If you believe something needs to exist, if it's something you want to use yourself, don't let anyone ever stop you from doing it. Tobias Luck. Don't look at your feet to see if you are doing it right. Just dance. And lament. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. True freedom is impossible without a mind made free by discipline. Mortimer J. Adler. Rivers know this, there is no hurry. We shall get there someday. A. Milne. There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will be lost. Martha Graham. Small is not just a stepping stone. Small is a great destination itself. Jason Fried. He that can have patience can have what he will. Benjamin Franklin. The only one who can tell you you can't win is you. And you don't have to listen. Jessica Ennis. Set your goals high, and don't stop till you get there. Bo Jackson. Take your victories, whatever they may be. Cherish them, use them, but don't settle for them. M.I.A. Ham. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. Steve Jobs. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Albert Einstein. What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. Mark Twain. If you can't yet do great things, do small things in a great way. Napoleon Hill. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Jim Rohn. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Abraham Lincoln. Live out of your imagination, not your history. Stephen Covey. Do not wait for the perfect time and place to enter, for you are already on stage. Unknown. The greater the difficulty, the more the glory in surmounting it. Epicurus. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. Mary and Radmacher. If the decisions you make about where you invest your blood, sweat, and tears are not consistent with the person you aspire to be, you will never become that person. Clayton M. Christensen. Fear of what other people will think is the single most paralyzing dynamic in business and in life. The best moment of my life was the day I realized that I no longer give a damn what anybody thinks. That's enormously liberating and freeing. And it's the only way to live your life and do your business. Cindy Gallop. The only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. Arthur C. Clarke. Worry is a misuse of imagination. Unknown. Courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Maya Angelou. I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now. Edna Mode. A year from now you will wish you had started today. Unknown. The reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. Steve Furtick. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Carl Sagan. I will not lose, for even in defeat, there's a valuable lesson learned, so it evens up for me. Jay-Z. I do not try to dance better than anyone else. I only try to dance better than myself. Oriana Huffington. If you don't risk anything, you risk even more. Erica Jong. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Henry Ford. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Confucius. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer. We must reach out our hand in friendship and dignity, both to those who would befriend us and those who would be our enemy. Arthur Ashe. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Bill Gates. I can't tell you how many times I've been given a no, only to find that a better, brighter, bigger yes was right around the corner. Arlen Hamilton. We need to accept that we won't always make the right decisions. That will screw up royally sometimes, understanding that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Ariana Huffington. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Henry Ford. You cannot always control what goes on outside, but you can always control what goes on inside. Wayne Dyer. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Arthur Ashe. Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. Ross Simmons. Everything you've ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. George Adair. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Ayn Rand. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Babe Ruth. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison. Don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once. Drew Houston. You carry the passport to your own happiness. Diane von Furstenberg. Never let success get to your head, and never let failure get to your heart. Drake. Ideation without execution is delusion. Robin Sharma. Make sure your worst enemy doesn't live between your own two ears. Laird Hamilton. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. Lucius Annaeus Seneca. For the great doesn't happen through impulse alone, and is a succession of little things that are brought together. Vincent van Gogh. If we take care of the moments, the years will take care of themselves. Maria Edgeworth. Resilience is when you address uncertainty with flexibility. Unknown. Sometimes magic is just someone spending more time on something than anyone else might reasonably expect. Raymond Joseph Teller. It's not the will to win that matters, everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that matters. Paul Bryant. As a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. Henry David Thoreau. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Earl Nightingale. True humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. Unknown. The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. Nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. Pema Chodron. We can see through others only when we can see through ourselves. Bruce Lee. First, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. Habit will help you finish and polish your stories. Inspiration won't. Habit is persistence in practice. Octavia Butler. The best way out is always through. Robert Frost. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invisible, inevitable battles inside all of us, that's where it's at. Jesse Owens. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Frederick Douglass. Someone will declare, I am the leader, and expect everyone to get in line and follow him or her to the gates of heaven or hell. My experience is that it doesn't happen that way. Others follow you based on the quality of your actions rather than the magnitude of your declarations. Bill Walsh. Courage is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. Ruth Gordo. Relentlessly prune bullshit. Don't wait to do things that matter. And savor the time you have. That's what you do when life is short. Paul Graham. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Marcus Tullius Cicero. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. Thomas Aquinas. You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there's still going to be somebody who hates peaches. Dieter von Teese. Keep a little fire burning, however small, however hidden. Cormac McCarthy. You'll never get bored when you try something new. There's really no limit to what you can do. Dr. Seuss. I think it's intoxicating when somebody is so unapologetically who they are. Don Cheadle. You can never leave footprints that last if you are always walking on tiptoe. Lamont Bowie. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Dolly Parton. If it makes you nervous, you're doing it right. Childish Gambino. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. Jane Goodall. I choose to make the rest of my life the best of my life. Louise Hay. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Coco Chanel. Anything can make me stop and look and wonder, and sometimes learn. Kurt Vonnegut. People's passion and desire for authenticity is strong. Constance Wu. A surplus of effort could overcome a deficit of confidence. Sonia Sotomayor. Doubt is a killer. You just have to know who you are and what you stand for. Jennifer Lopez. No one changes the world who isn't obsessed. Billie Jean King. I learned a long time ago that there is something worse than missing the goal, and that's not pulling the trigger. M.A. Ham. Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Michael Jordan. People tell you the world looks a certain way. Parents tell you how to think. Schools tell you how to think. TV. Religion. And then at a certain point, if you're lucky, you realize you can make up your own mind. Nobody sets the rules but you. You can design your own life. Carrie and Moss. Some women choose to follow men, and some choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. Lady Gaga. Life is what happens to us while we are making other plans. Alan Saunders. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. George Bernard Shaw. You are the sum total of everything you've ever seen, heard, eaten, smelled, been told. Forgot it's all there. Everything influences each of us. And because of that, I try to make sure that my experiences are positive. Maya Angelou. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Susie Kassem. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. Walt Whitman. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you're willing to do. Your attitude determines how well you do it. Lou Holtz. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Audrey Hepburn. You are who you are meant to be. Dance as if no one's watching. Love as if it's all you know. Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today. James Dean. You do not find the happy life. You make it. Camilla Erin Kimball. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching. Love like you'll never be hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening. And live like it's heaven on earth. William W. Perkin. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. Folks are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie. You learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. Unknown. Fairy tales do not tell children that dragons exist. Children already know that dragons exist. Fairy tales tell children that dragons can be killed. G.K. Chesterton. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. Michael Altshuler. Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. Cinderella. With a smile and a song, life is just like a bright sunny day. Your cares fade away. Snow White. It's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. Alice in Wonderland. When we get to the end of the story, you will know more than you do now. Hans Christian Andersen, The Snow Queen. The most important thing in life is to stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I will. Consider nothing impossible, then treat possibilities as probabilities. Charles Dickens. Learn as if you will live forever, live like you will die tomorrow. Mahatma Gandhi. It is only when we take chances, when our lives improve. The initial and the most difficult risk that we need to take is to become honest. Walter Anderson. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney. Move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you are willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try something new. Brian Tracy. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. George Adair. Never bend your head. Always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Helen Keller. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. Fear is nature's way of warning us to get busy. Dr. Henry Link. The man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. Hasidic proverb. What you lack in talent can be made up with desire. Hustle and giving 110% all the time. Don Zimmer. Fake it until you make it. Act as if you had all the confidence you require until it becomes your reality. Brian Tracy. Imperfection is beauty. Madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. Marilyn Monroe. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. Nelson Mandela. Remember always that you have not only the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. You cannot make any useful contribution in life unless you do this. Eleanor Roosevelt. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. E. Cummings. You were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Zig Ziglar. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi. Let us make our future now, and let us make our dreams tomorrow's reality. Malala Yousafzai. The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. Leaders set high standards. Refuse to tolerate mediocrity or poor performance. Brian Tracy. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Vince Lombardi. It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. Queen Elizabeth II. When one door closes, sometimes we need to turn the knob to open another. J.A. Tran. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Jimmy Dean. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Will Rogers. Leaders never use the word failure. They look upon setbacks as learning experiences. Brian Tracy. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Maya Angelou. We become what we think about. Earl Nightingale. There are no limits to what you can accomplish, except the limits you place on your own thinking. Brian Tracy. Inspiration comes from within yourself. One has to be positive. When you're positive, good things happen. Deep Roy. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Helen Keller. Develop an attitude of gratitude. Say thank you to everyone you meet for everything you do. Brian Tracy. Today's accomplishments were yesterday's impossibilities. Robert H. Schuller. The future belongs to the competent. Get good, get better, be the best. Brian Tracy. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. Helen Keller. Courage is more exhilarating than fear, and in the long run it is easier. We do not have to become heroes overnight. Just one step at a time, meeting each thing that comes up. Seeing it is not as dreadful as it appeared. Discovering we have the strength to stare it down. Eleanor Roosevelt. For every reason it's not possible, there are hundreds of people who have faced the same circumstances and succeeded. Jack Canfield. It is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task which, more than anything else, will affect its successful outcome. William James. Belief creates the actual fact. William James. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. William James. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. William James. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. William James. I learned this, at least, by my experiment. That if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. Dreams are the touchstones of our characters. Henry David Thoreau. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. Henry David Thoreau. As if you could kill time without injuring eternity. Henry David Thoreau. There is no remedy for love but to love more. Henry David Thoreau. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. Oprah Winfrey. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. Oprah Winfrey. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Oprah Winfrey. Doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment. Oprah Winfrey. Real integrity is doing the right thing. Knowing that nobody's going to know whether you did it or not. Oprah Winfrey. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink the wild air. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Life is a journey, not a destination. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Albert Einstein. Creativity is intelligence having fun. Albert Einstein. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to create them. Albert Einstein. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Albert Einstein. When a person really desires something, all the universe conspires to help that person to realize his dream. Paulo Coelho. Optimism is the one quality more associated with success and happiness than any other. Brian Tracy. While one person hesitates because he feels inferior, the other is busy making mistakes and becoming superior. Henry Link. Imagine your life is perfect in every respect. What would it look like? Brian Tracy. We all die. The goal isn't to live forever, the goal is to create something that will. Chuck Palahniuk. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive. Maya Angelou. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Wishing is not enough. We must do. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Reading is to the mind, as exercise is to the body. Brian Tracy. You've got to get up every morning with determination. If you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. George Lorimer. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Zig Ziglar. Go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll be able to see further. Thomas Carlyle. Waiting insistently in front of a tightly closed door is unfair to all of the open doors. Give a chance to the open doors. Mehmet Murat Ilden. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Dr. Seuss. You make a choice. Continue living your life feeling muddled in this abyss of self-misunderstanding. Or you find your identity independent of it. You draw your own box. Duchess Meghan. The key responsibility of leadership is to think about the future. No one else can do it for you. Brian Tracy. Make your life a masterpiece. Imagine no limitations on what you can be, have, or do. Brian Tracy. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. Michael Jordan. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Steve Jobs. Entrepreneurs are great at dealing with uncertainty, and also very good at minimizing risk. That's the classic entrepreneur. Monish Pabrai. If you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Steve Jobs. Integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Always keep your word. Brian Tracy. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Maya Angelou. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Rob Siltonen. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. Leaders think and talk about the solutions. Followers think and talk about the problems. Brian Tracy. War is not the answer, because only love can conquer hate. Marvin Gaye. We must be willing to let go of the life we plan so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Joseph Campbell. Like tomorrow with today. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Never limit yourself because of others' limited imagination. Never limit others because of your own limited imagination. Mae Jemison. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Mae West. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. Henry Ford. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King, Jr. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Martin Luther King, Jr. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Martin Luther King, Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. Martin Luther King, Jr. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Martin Luther King, Jr. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Winston Churchill. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. Winston Churchill. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. There is no substitute for hard work. Thomas Edison. A genius is often merely a talented person who has done all of his or her homework. Thomas Edison. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. E. Cummings. Your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are. Beyoncé. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Audrey Hepburn. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. Walt Whitman. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own. And you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Dr. Seuss. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Winston Churchill. To bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. Rosa Parks. All our dreams can come true, if we have the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. Madam C.J. Walker. Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King. I am lucky that whatever fear I have inside me, my desire to win is always stronger. Serena Williams. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. Believe you can and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Anestiain. Just don't give up trying to do what you really want to do. Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. Ella Fitzgerald. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Maya Angelou. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Dolly Parton. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. All dreams are within reach. All you have to do is keep moving towards them. Viola Davis. It is never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. When you put love out in the world, it travels. And it can touch people and reach people in ways that we never even expected. Laverne Cox. Give light and people will find the way. Ella Baker. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. Don't count the days, make the days count. Muhammad Ali. If you risk nothing, then you risk everything. Ginna Davis. Definitions belong to the definers, not the defined. Toni Morrison. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go. Carol Burnett. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. Eleanor Roosevelt. When it comes to luck, you make your own. Bruce Springsteen. If you're having fun, that's when the best memories are built. Simone Biles. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Truman Capote. Hard things will happen to us. We will recover. We will learn from it. We will grow more resilient because of it. Taylor Swift. Your story is what you have, what you will always have. It is something to own. Michelle Obama. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. Oscar Wilde. You define beauty yourself, society doesn't define your beauty. Lady Gaga. Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. Mary Lou Retton. You just gotta keep going and fighting for everything. And one day you'll get to where you want. Naomi Osaka. If you prioritize yourself, you are going to save yourself. Gabrielle Union. No matter how far away from yourself you may have strayed, there is always a path back. You already know who you are and how to fulfill your destiny. Oprah Winfrey. A problem is a chance for you to do your best. Duke Ellington. You can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. Bonnie Prudden. When you can't find someone to follow, you have to find a way to lead by example. Roxane Gay. There is no better compass than compassion. Amanda Gorman. Stand before the people you fear and speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Maggie Kuhn. It's a toxic desire to try to be perfect. I realized later in life that the challenge is not to be perfect. It's to be whole. Jane Fonda. Vitality shows not only in the ability to persist, but in the ability to start over. F. Scott Fitzgerald. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Alice Walker. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. Lucille Ball. In 3 words I can sum up everything I've learned about life, it goes on. Robert Frost. Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game, not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them, and we shut them down, because we can. Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team in the world. Herb Brooks. Regardless of the situation, regardless of the scoreboard, you're going to be successful because you've put in all the time, all the effort, all the hard work. And you know that it's going to pay off. Apollo Hester. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't do something. Not even me, alright? You got a dream, you gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period. The pursuit of happiness. The infinite player isn't playing to be number one, they are playing to outlast the competition. Simon Sinek. Every closed door isn't locked, and even if it is, you just might have the key. Search within to unlock a world of possibilities. Sanjo Gendai. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Sylvester Stallone in Rocky Balboa. It's easy to stand in the crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. Mahatma Gandhi. In 3 words I can sum up everything I've learned about life, it goes on. Robert Frost. I think goals should never be easy. They should force you to work, even if they are uncomfortable at the time. Michael Phelps. To see what is right and not do is a lack of courage. Confucius. Life has got all those twists and turns. You've got to hold on tight and off you go. Nicole Kidman. The effective leader recognizes that they are more dependent on their people than they are on them. Walk softly. Brian Tracy. One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself. And never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. Michelle Obama. Surely, in the light of history, it is more intelligent to hope rather than to fear. To try rather than not to try. For one thing we know beyond all doubt. Nothing has ever been achieved by the person who says it can't be done. Eleanor Roosevelt. It takes courage to examine your life and to decide that there are things you would like to change. And it takes even more courage to do something about it. Sue Hadfield. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. Ogmandino. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. John Wooden. It hurt because it mattered. John Green. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. Zig Ziglar. Make sure your worst enemy is not living between your own 2 ears. Nitya Prakash. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Dolly Parton. Life changes very quickly, in a very positive way, if you let it. Lindsey Vonn. Every moment is a fresh beginning. T.S. Eliot. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Don't count the days. Make the days count. Muhammad Ali. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. Wayne Dyer. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. Do what you can with all you have, wherever you are. Theodore Roosevelt. Change the world by being yourself. Amy Poehler. Change the game, don't let the game change you. Macklemore. Self-doubt kills talent. Edie McClurg. Believe you can and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. You get what you give. Jennifer Lopez. Your life only gets better when you get better. Brian Tracy. Happiness is not by chance, but by choice. Jim Rohn.